Trinidad and Tobago Prime Minister Dr. Keith Christopher Rowley is again defending the change to the nation's coat of arms. This comes after a wave of fresh questioning was directed his way in Friday in the House of Representatives. Now, initially, the Prime Minister sparked a wave of controversy back in August when he boldly declared that the current coat of arms was not working in its current forms and that would be changed, and we would see the requisite change to the legislation that allowed for that change by Republic Day. Well, Republic Day is next week, and he's confirmed that the work is carrying on as planned. So some of the questioning surrounding the change to the coat of arms, again, pertain to how the procurement was conducted to select a vendor and to carry out this work. So while the Prime Minister was saying yesterday in the House of Representatives that all the procurement rules were followed, he still couldn't confirm a final bill as it had not yet been received. He claims that the successful vendor arising out of this procurement is still making changes in order to be able to determine final costs. So again, this leads me back to previous comments that I've made regarding the coat of arms as well as the upcoming budget. So the budget is slated to be presented in Parliament on the 30th of September. Remember, I discussed things such as setting priorities, accountability, cost controls, and ensuring those funds are set out for what the government determines to be priorities for the upcoming year. You will see the budget reflect this work of the coat of arms and will also detail or make provisions for any other projects arising out of the change with respect to the coat of arms. One thing that is very interesting, though, is the limited details that are arising out of this particular procurement. Remember, the successful vendor herself said that she didn't actually submit a proposal to be considered for this. So this leads me to believe that the simplified procurement process was used for this. Now, I'm not saying that if that process was relied upon, that they're able to sidestep the procurement rules. It's just that the simplified procurement process allows for lack of a better term, an easier process, but they still have to stick to a particular threshold. They're still bound by compliance. They're still required to report. They're still required to be transparent in the process, even if it is more of a limited tendering scenario. But that is also something that the procurement regulator herself, Ms. Beverly Khan, indicated in her first report, which was laid in Parliament recently by the Office of the Procurement Regulation. She stated that there's an extremely high number, close to $5 billion of contracts that have been awarded in a limited or solar single source tendering process. This adds to the billions of dollars that remain unaccounted for with respect to previous state contracts that have been awarded. So while there's a lot of reassurance on the part of the Prime Minister that the process was run as it was supposed to, we still don't have those confirmations with respect to the actual details arising out of this procurement. And again, back to the procurement regulator, she also said that there was a lot of unreliable or missing data. This is something that they're going to be watching very closely with respect to how this procurement was run, if it was in compliance, and if the costs that are still yet to be finalized and determined do in fact remain under the threshold allowed for in the simplified procurement process. Because again, we always run over budget and pass the time. If memory serves me correctly, we're already teetering on running late for these changes because the Prime Minister again did say that this would be done by Republic Day. So stay tuned. There's certainly more to come on this one.